But if they have lots of different bodies, then I think that is a body that exists in society, and all of those things should be celebrated so people feel comfortable.
Celebrated. We should celebrate healthy young women cutting off their breasts.
And there should be a medical process to ensure that it happens safely. And if that process has happened, then I don't think it is for you or I to be judgmental about that. It's about us trying to celebrate the diversity of how people live, not how we want people to live in a perfect world.
Well, in a perfect world, healthy people don't cut off parts of their body. If they had a picture of somebody who had a perfectly healthy body and decided they didn't want their right leg anymore, and they cut off their right leg cut off after medical procedures, would we be celebrating that? Because we wouldn't, would we? We'd think that was a serious mental health disorder.
The mural does not go in, I don't think, unless there's some textual elements to it as well that is not shown in that photo. The mural doesn't go into details about the motivation of the person who is depicted like that at all. So we don't know any of those details that you are supposed to.
No, it's not a celebration. No, Lloyd, this is not a celebration of a woman surviving cancer by having a mastectomy. This is a celebration of a healthy woman cutting off her healthy breasts, having them cut off by surgeons who, frankly, I think should be in prison, and celebrating that because now she is living as if she were a man, when she isn't a man. And we're celebrating her mutilating her body.
What you're indicating by saying that you want those surgeons who have helped someone to go to prison...
To cut off their healthy body parts.
No one ever to be able to transition, no one ever to be able to make adjustments to their body because they're unhappy with them. Okay. Lots of people make adjustments to their breasts and other parts of their body because they're unhappy with them. And I think that is not something that I want to do. But when other people do it and they become happy because of that, then I think that is a...
Well, they don't... There's not very much evidence that people do become happy as a result of that.
And I think it's rather judgmental to be forcing your view of what someone's body should look like. But that's fine.
Okay,
I'm easy about it.
All right, then, Russell, I'll ask...
You don't want to go to Costa as well. I think that's your choice as well.
Lloyd, I'll ask you again. And if someone said, if an 18-year-old, 6-year-old, 40-year-old said, I don't think my right leg should be there. I'd like my right leg cut off. Would that be their choice? And would you endorse them having that off and us all celebrating that? Because I don't see what the difference is.
Well, lots of people have breast enhancement.
That's not what I answered the question I asked you.
Surgery. Lots of people.
Lloyd, answer the question I asked you.
No, you are asking a facetious question.
No, I'm asking you to follow logically the argument that you're making. If someone wants to cut a piece of their body off, that's up to them. Who are you to judge? So you'd be happy to celebrate somebody cutting off their right leg, would you?
We can
no, of course you wouldn't, because you know that was insane.
OK, you don't really want me to answer.
Well, you weren't going to answer, were you? Answer the question. Just that question.
We can take all arguments to extreme, and on the extremities, it will sound ridiculous. Your question makes it sound ridiculous, and of course I don't want someone to just randomly walk into a surgery and suddenly get their leg cut off. But I actually don't want anyone to randomly walk in anywhere and get any part of their body cut off.
They are able to do that pretty much now. There's very little protection.
No, that's not true.
That is true. Well, you need to read up more on this subject. Instead of shouting down Miriam Cates when she's speaking in Parliament, maybe if you paid more attention to the facts.
I mean, Miriam Cates and I are very cordial around Parliament, but we totally disagree. We are very cordial.
I don't think she thinks that.
Well, I think she does. We've been on shows together as well, on GB News and others, and been very cordial with each other. But we have a fundamental disagreement on sex, morality, conversion therapy, sex education in schools,
protection of children,
gender issues, and I'm afraid I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on that. But that is politics, isn't it? In politics and in Parliament, we very robustly, often in very loud voices, debate
and sometimes intimidate other people.